You've been there, haven't you? Standing in the middle of chaos, screaming for help in a world that pretends it can't hear you. You've called out for someone, anyone, to step in and fight alongside you. But they didn't. Instead, they turned away, leaving you alone with your demons, your battles, your pain. And in that silence, something inside you broke, but something else awakened. You see, the hardest truth you'll ever face is this: no one is coming to save you. No one is going to fight for you. And the moment you realize this is the moment you begin to understand that you are your only weapon, your only savior, your only hope. This is the story of that fight. The fight no one helped you win. You believed in people once. You believed in promises, in the kindness of others, in the words, "I've got your back." But where were they when the storms rolled in? Where were they when the weight of the world crushed your shoulders? It wasn't just the absence that hurt, it was the betrayal. The realization that those who smiled at you, who claimed to care, vanished the moment the ground beneath you began to crack. You waited, didn't you? Hoped that someone, anyone, would reach out a hand. You thought, surely they'll come. Surely they'll see my struggle. But the world doesn't work that way. People see your pain and walk away. Not because they're blind, but because they're too afraid to carry it with you. And so there you were, alone, bruised, desperate. But that was just the beginning. Loneliness isn't just silence, it's suffocation. It's the feeling of drowning in an ocean where no one throws a lifeline. It's the weight of every unspoken word, every unanswered cry. And in that abyss, the questions begin to eat away at you. Why me? What did I do to deserve this? You replay every moment, searching for the reason they left, the reason no one came. But the answers never arrive. And yet, there's something strange about hitting rock bottom. The world grows quieter. The chaos dims. And for the first time, you're forced to listen, not to the lies of others, but to the voice inside you. It's faint at first, a whisper buried under years of doubt and fear, but it's there, waiting for you to notice it. That voice, it's not gentle, it doesn't offer comfort or sympathy. It's raw, brutal, unrelenting. It says, no one is coming, no one will fight for you. So, what will you do about it? At first you resist. You tell yourself you're not strong enough, not brave enough. But the voice doesn't care about your excuses. It's not there to coddle you. It's there to remind you of the truth. You've always had the strength within you. You just needed the pain to uncover it. And so, step by step, you rise. Not because someone lifted you, but because you refused to stay down. The fight isn't over. It's just beginning. But this time, you're not waiting for anyone to join you. This time, you're ready to stand alone. Anger. It's not a weakness, it's fuel. It's the fire that burns away the lies, the illusions, the expectations. They thought leaving you would break you. They thought their absence would silence you. But they didn't understand that every betrayal, every rejection, every ounce of pain was forging something stronger within you. Anger isn't about destruction. It's about transformation. It's about taking every wound they gave you and turning it into armor. It's about looking at the world that left you to fight alone and saying, "You thought I needed you? Watch me prove you wrong." The fight isn't easy. It's brutal, relentless, unforgiving. Every step forward feels like dragging a mountain. Every victory is drenched in sweat and tears. But here's the thing, you're winning. Not because it's easy, not because you're invincible, but because you refuse to quit. You've learned to rely on yourself, to trust your own strength. You've learned that the only person you can count on is the one staring back at you in the mirror. And with every battle, you grow stronger. With every setback, you rise faster. You've stopped looking for help, stopped waiting for saviors. Because now, you understand the truth. The fight was never theirs to win. It was always yours. When they see you now, they don't recognize you. You're not the person they abandoned. You're not the broken soul they left behind. You've become something else, something they can't ignore. They see the fire in your eyes. the steel in your spine. They see the strength they never believed you had. And now they fear you. Not because you seek revenge, but because you've become untouchable. Their absence didn't destroy you, it built you. Their betrayal didn't weaken you, it fortified you. This fight, it's not just about survival, it's about transformation. It's about proving that you're more than the scars they gave you. And now you carry a message for the world. You can leave me. You can betray me. You can abandon me, but you cannot break me. Because I've fought battles you'll never understand, and I've won them all, alone. The fight no one helped you win wasn't just a battle, it was a rebirth. And now, you're stronger, wiser, unshakable. When the dust settles and the echoes of your fight fade into the background, you're left with silence. It's not the kind of silence that comes from peace. It's the silence of reflection, of facing the reality of what you've endured. You look back and see the battlefield behind you. The scars, the bruises, the moments when you thought you couldn't go on. They're all there, etched into your memory. But there's something else you see now too. Strength. Every wound tells a story, not of defeat, but of resilience. Every scar is a testament to the battles you faced and won, not because someone stood by your side, but because you stood alone. And in that silence, a thought strikes you, a realization that changes everything. You didn't just survive the fight, you owned it. You didn't just endure, you overcame. They told you strength was about numbers, about unity, about having people to lean on. But you know the truth now, don't you? Strength isn't about how many stand with you. It's about whether you can stand when everyone else walks away. It's not about who cheers for you. It's about whether you can push forward in the absence of applause. The world wants you to believe you're weak when you're alone. They want you to think you're powerless without their validation. But the world is wrong. Because when you're alone, there's no one to distract you from who you really are. And that's when true strength reveals itself. But let's be honest, it comes at a cost. Fighting alone isn't free. It takes a toll on your body, your mind, your heart. You felt the weight of isolation, the pain of betrayal. You faced nights where the darkness seemed endless, where you doubted whether you could go on. But here's the thing about costs. They're an investment. Every sleepless night, every tear, every moment of struggle was a down payment on the person you're becoming. And now, as you stand taller, stronger, unshakable, you realize it was worth every ounce of pain. Because the person you've become, the warrior forged in solitude, is priceless. They'll try to rewrite your story. They'll tell you it wasn't your fight that made you strong. They'll claim you got lucky, that your victories were inevitable. But deep down, they know the truth. They know they left you for dead, and you rose anyway. They know they underestimated you, and it terrifies them. You see, the world fears those who fight alone. Because independent strength doesn't need approval. It doesn't beg for attention. It exists, unapologetically, beyond their control. And that's what makes it unstoppable. You've reached a point now where you don't apologize for your strength. You don't shrink yourself to make others comfortable. When they ask you how you made it, you don't sugarcoat the truth. You tell them, no one fought for me, so I fought for myself. No one stood by me, so I learned to stand alone. And I don't owe anyone an explanation for who I've become. Your strength intimidates them because it's real. It wasn't handed to you. It was earned. And that kind of strength doesn't falter. Fighting alone doesn't just make you strong, it makes you invincible. It teaches you to rely on yourself in ways most people will never understand. You've built a fortress within yourself, a place where no one's opinions can hurt you, where no one's absence can break you. This isn't about shutting the world out. It's about protecting what matters most. Your peace, your strength, your self-worth. They can try to tear you down, but they'll never breach the walls you've built. Because those walls weren't constructed from fear. They were built from resilience. Now, here's the part they didn't expect. Your fight wasn't just about you. It wasn't just about survival. It was about paving the way for others. There are people out there right now, drowning in their battles, feeling abandoned, just like you once did. They're searching for a light, a sign that it's possible to stand alone and still win. And now, you are that light. You don't need to preach, to shout, to demand attention. Your story speaks for itself. Every scar, every victory, every moment of defiance is proof that it can be done. You've become a beacon for those who've been abandoned, a symbol of what's possible when you refuse to give up. And in the end, that's the ultimate victory. Not just winning your fight, but inspiring others to rise and fight their own. So, the next time you find yourself alone in the darkness, remember this. You don't need them. You never did. The fight is yours, and yours alone. And when you emerge from the shadows, victorious and unbroken, the world will finally understand what they lost when they left you. Because you didn't just survive, you thrived. And that, my friend, is a victory no one can take away from you. Now go, fight, win, alone if you must, because that's where your true power lies. That's all. I'm out. By the way, if you want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Until next time.